Welcome back to the updated budget guide for custom keyboards in 2025. This guide is based off keyboards I have tried or personally reviewed on the channel, so I will not be naming anything I haven't tried before. Similar to the previous budget guide, I will be going through 3 different tiers: a low tier, a mid tier, and a high tier. And I'll try to include a HE board in every single tier except for the low tier because it's pretty tough. So low tier keyboard kits, I'm keeping them under $50 and they are mainly accessible through China websites like Taobao and AliExpress. So it's going to be really accessible for those who live in Southeast Asia, but those of you who live abroad in America and whatever might be a little tougher. Our first board is the Ayula F75. On Taobao, F75 Ayula costs $30 US. Yes, $30 for the full pre-assembled board. On AliExpress, you're looking at about $45 US. At this price point, $45 it's still one of my favorite recommendations to give to anyone who just starting out in the hobby. We have a 75% layout, which I think is ideal for most beginners. We have the volume knob on the top right as well. The overall aesthetic is very neutral. It will go along with most setups and also has triple mode connection. As for keycaps, we are looking at double shot OEM keycaps with the Reaper switches. It's my favorite switch on the F75. 5-pin linear switch, and here's how it sounds. The switches are very smooth, the stabilizers are perfectly tuned. The only downside to the board is 5-pin north-facing sockets, which is why we have OEM keycaps pre-installed. So do check on what switches you should use and what switches you shouldn't use to avoid that interference with cherry profile and north-facing sockets. Next up on the list is the AL65. On Taobao, it's currently $33 US. $33 by the way. For the AL65, I would definitely only recommend it if you can get it on Taobao. If you can find it on AliExpress for under $50, then that's very good. But the cheapest one I found was like $52 or $53. Anyway, for $33 US, if you're getting it on Taobao, it's definitely worth your money. It definitely feels a lot more premium than the F75 since the body is made from aluminum. We have a PC plate to go along with it as well, and it uses a gasket stock mount. And honestly, the best thing about the board is how it sounds. This board can really achieve that creamy, talky sound profile that a lot of people love. Also, this was the kit I used in 2024's Thockiest build, and that sounded really freaking good. It got so many views, so if you're interested and you haven't seen that video, do check it out and check out what you can do with the AL65. Now, the last one on the low tier list is very controversial because I haven't reviewed it on the channel properly because I haven't posted it yet, but as I'm filming this, I have tried it, and Lucky 65 V2 is good. On Taobao, Lucky 65 V2 costs $30 US, and that is absolutely crazy. Pre-assembled, it costs like $35 US, but it's still so crazy. But for now, I don't really have any footage for the Lucky 65 V2, but 1 week after this video, I will be posting on it, so subscribe, stay tuned for the video. Anyway, time for us to move on to mid-tier boards. These boards will be priced around $50 to $100. Most of them are like $99. These are boards you would find from more reputable brands. It will be more accessible to everybody, no matter where you live, and the quality of the board itself will be 1 notch higher than the low-tier boards. There are so many boards in this range, so you don't have to limit yourself to what I'm providing. There are a lot of boards within the $50 to $100 range nowadays being released. So if you're not happy or you don't really find interest in any of the ones I've listed, you can just wait a little longer because I'm sure there will be many releases throughout this year. Let's start with a HE board. It's one of my favorite HE boards to recommend under $100. It's the Halo 65 HE. This comes in at $99 and it's an in-stock board. In stock. No waiting times, in stock. The gaming performance and features are no disappointment. It's what you would expect from a HE keyboard. Nufi also did put thought behind the sound profile and typing experience. With a top mount and basic dampening of course, it sounds really good for a HE keyboard. And in my opinion, Nufi is right behind Wu-Tang in terms of software. So for $99, this is definitely one of the best HE keyboards you should consider. And if you prefer a bigger layout, you don't want a 65% or a 60%, then you could consider the Book 75 by Malitrix. Anyway, let's move on to the next board on our list, the Neo 60 Core at $80. Compared to all the other mid-tier boards that I have tried in this range, the Neo 60 Core is my number one. We have a case fully made from aluminum, very slim bezels, very nice edges. The 60 Core has a uni body as well, so it's a single case and can do either a gasket bean mount or an O-ring mount. And the sound profile on this thing is just built different. Now, I will say this thing is definitely pushing high tier in between the mid tier because it is a keyboard kit. So you would have to get switches and keycaps and build in it, and that would probably push your budget above $100. But I feel like it is the perfect board for those of you who came out from low tier or maybe just always had a pre-assembled board and you want to get hands-on onto building the keyboard itself, installing your switches, trying out different configurations, be it with foam or mounting. I feel like the Neo 60 Core is so beginner friendly in terms of how it is built and how you can build it. It is definitely one of the recommendations I would give to someone looking to upgrade. Alright, last one in the mid tier, the ND75, a pre-assembled 75% at $99. Also in stock. It is fully made from aluminum with a neat little screen. In terms of features, the ND75 definitely takes my number one spot. Aside from the features itself, the most important thing about a custom keyboard is the feel and sound, and it does not disappoint. The keyboard feels amazing to type on and sounds great right out of the box. It has 3 different mounting options for you to experiment with and 2 of the best features that any keyboard can have. A magnetic daughterboard connection and the ball catch system on our housing. With these 2 features, disassembling the board takes all of 5 seconds, so you can experiment with it, be it changing foam or changing the mounting. So as I mentioned, there are so many more options in this $50 to $100 range, but these 3 boards are just what stand out to me. Like boards like Zen 65, which we recently reviewed, the same makers from Rainy 75. If you haven't, you should check out that video. It's a pretty cool keyboard. So remember to keep your options open because throughout the year, I'm sure we will see more boards in this range. For now, let's move on to high tier boards. High tier boards, I would say it's more of branding. Like what you're paying for is branding and maybe higher quality. It's either one of these that is pushing the price above $100 nowadays. You're either paying for a brand or you're paying for something like brass or copper. Number one is the Neo CU series. This will run you about $150 to $200. For an example, I'll talk about the Neo 65 CU today. When you think about premium keyboard, it's all about weight. And the Neo 65 CU is sheer density. It comes out at 2.5 kilograms of just pure aluminum and brass. It also gives off a very elegant and classic custom keyboard look, which suits it really well. It has a very smooth and clean separation between the top and bottom frame, and the bottom case has some really sleek curves that create a more slender look to the board. On our weight, we also have a simple compass design. For PCBs, they offer triple mode, wired and soldered, 1.2mm, 1.6mm, no flex cuts, support for both NC, ISO layout, hot swappable. Now, the main thing about the CU series is the acoustic chamber. It will either be brass or copper, but this basically is the essence of the CU series. It allows for completely foamless builds that sound amazing. So yeah, the CU series is basically maintaining the essence of a custom keyboard while implementing the modern features that we like into their kits, which I feel is very different from a lot of the other boards out there, and I really do appreciate that. So if you have had an ND75 or be it a Rainy 75, something to upgrade to, you're looking for something different, something more premium, the CU series is something you should consider. They have a 60 CU, a 65 CU, and a 75 CU. Now for this budget guide, I tried to make myself list 3 boards per tier, but I really can't think of a board that I would really want to recommend at a high tier aside from one more. So this will be the final board on this budget guide, and it's going to be a Wu-Ting. HE keyboards is king right now, and Wu-Ting is king of HE keyboards. I definitely agree that some of you say, and I would say, that Wu-Ting is a pricey HE keyboard. There are so many options available, the Venom, the Polestar, there are so many more options available that you can customize and do the same thing just with a different brand. But as I mentioned, high tier is basically paying for branding, and Wu-Ting has done that pretty well. And to be fair, Wu-Ting has always been ahead of the game. They were the first one to release SnapTap and show the world what they can do by updating our keyboards. And after trying out a few HE boards, Wu-Ting's software is just one of the best and the most intuitive software you can use. It's very simple, it's built really clean, and they are just the best at software. As for sound and feel, they are definitely working on it. We have seen so many Wu-Ting upgrades on videos, be it products, like so many things are being created just for Wu-Ting to be upgraded because the stock sound and feel isn't exactly the best. So what I would recommend is getting the module itself, the Wu-Ting module, be it 60 or 80. There are aftermarket cases right now in KB Defense especially. They have so many more options that I think will be coming out soon. On top of that, HE switches is also growing in variety. I believe we have more than at least 10 switches to choose from now in HE switches, and they make the board sound really different. Also a little self-marketing, but I've been working on a case for my Wu-Ting as well, and I'm really excited about it. There are just certain things that I'm looking for that aftermarket products just isn't offering right now, so I decided why not make my own. It's been a project for about 6 months, I think, and I recently just came back from a trip to Guangzhou where I met the manufacturer and got my prototypes, and I'll probably do a video on it. High tier boards I would consider towards the pricier side. 2 to 3 years ago, $150, $200 is considered budget, but nowadays budget I would say is $50 to $100. Within the $50 to $120 range, I feel like it's a good point to call your board budget. But anything above that isn't exactly budget anymore in this state of the keyboard scene. So yeah, that has been the budget guide for 2025. If none of the boards piqued your interest, then just wait a little while. We are only 5 months into 2025. I'm pretty sure there will be more options throughout the year, and you can consider it then. Comment which board you're using and what you are planning to upgrade to and what is your budget. And also subscribe, stay tuned. My case, Wu-Ting case, is gonna be very different, very cool, and I'm really excited about it. Peace.